Hello, everybody. My name is Lynn, Mick Awesome, and as you can tell from the Mick in my last name, as well as my pale white skin and red hair, yes, I am Irish. I'm actually not Irish, but since the race that I am is currently being rounded up and disappeared, I am a proud Irishman. When I shower, I use Irish Spring. And while I use it, I sing. I Irish sing using Irish Spring. And I put on my Clauda ring. I think that's how it's pronounced, Clauda ring. So I put on my Irish ring while I Irish sing using Irish Spring. And then when I'm done doing all that, I listen to Frank Sinatra. Amazing voice. So I guess you could say that after I use Irish Spring and Irish Sing while wearing my Irish ring, I go ring-a-ding-ding. You might think that that was stupid and pointless, but if it was stupid and pointless, then why did I win an award? 2024 Rainbow Award winner. So it is episode 4, I believe. Episode 4 of my every other week vlog, Lynn's After Therapy After Party, where I vlog completely unscripted and unprepared after therapy. And I had therapy today. It was a heavy one. So, I'm going to talk to y'all while I paint my nails. This is LA Colors. Doesn't that look pretty? I like it. So, I'm going to paint my nails. And to be clear, when I do this, I just bought this. I don't need to shake it around. I'm doing it anyway. It's the same reason when I smoked, I would often go with the. It's just what you do. So I had therapy today. It was a heavy one. No tears, thankfully. I was listening to the song. I believe it's either Journey or Chicago. I think it's Chicago. Who's crying now? It's me. It's me. I've been on hormones for almost 4 years. I can cry at the drop of a hat. So that's exciting. If you hear the click-clacking of raptor talons, that's just my very old dog, Bernard. Hi, Bernard. Bernard was owned by 2 relatives, but they owned a number of dogs, and this is what they would do with the dogs. They would tie them in the backyard, and that's it. So one day we went over to their house for the 4th of July. Sheen, sparkle, sparkle. And I saw one of their older dogs, Bernard, and Bernard was getting cuddles with me and pets. And I said, oh, I want to borrow this dog. So they let us have the dog. And now Bernard has 2 beds and lives in air conditioning and doesn't get tied up outside. So Bernard's living a good life, but he is getting really old, and he does not like his claws being clipped. But to be fair, I don't like my claws being clipped either, so I understand where he's coming from. Okay, so I'm avoiding talking about therapy. I had therapy today. We talked all about sex, which is quite a topic for me. I had a lot of sex when I was a guy. But as a woman, I haven't had a lot. I began transitioning in 2020 and 2021 is when I started coming out about it and dressing up as a woman. I remember going to CVS in a dress, and it was kind of scary and life-changing. I think a lot of people came out as trans after the lockdown, because I've heard from a lot of people who, came out as trans and began transitioning in 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. And I think it's just something about surviving a deadly pandemic that makes you realize that I don't want to spend the rest of my life hiding who I am. Certainly, that's how it is with me. I put a second coat to make him even more sheen, sparkle, sparkle. So I like that. It's gonna take forever to dry. I don't like painting my right hand because I'm right-handed, and so I also have not really a disease. I have a thing called essential tremors, where, okay, I've hardly had any coffee. It's 75 degrees in our house and I'm not cold. I will now be staying still. This is me staying perfectly still. Basically, I'm like a chihuahua. I shake just all the time. And so it's a thing called essential tremors. Right now, it's just something I got to get used to, but we need to keep an eye on it because as I get older, it might get worse. I definitely got it from my mom. My mom also shook like a Yo Quiero Taco Bell, so there's that. Stimpy! To be clear, I think I've said this in a previous episode, but my vocabulary is about 50% movie and TV show references. So if I say something and you don't get it, Stimpy, then there can be only one Highlander, Stimpy. Cut your head off. If you don't get it, that's fine. There'll be another one soon. It's just what you do. That's Brittany Murphy from the movie Drop Dead Gorgeous. If you haven't watched it, you should. It's amazing. So, we talked about sex. I had a lot of sex when I was a dude. There was one time when I was in college where I had sex with 3 different women on the same day. I'm not proud of it. I was a douchebag. But I was a douchebag that got laid. When I realized that I was a woman and began transitioning, suddenly everything changed and I became a fetish for a lot of people. Suddenly I had a bunch of chasers, a bunch of men who have always wanted to be with a trans person, and here I am, and so suddenly they're sliding into DMs and stuff, you know? And like, I don't want that. Guys are gross. I should know, I used to be one. So, I have been with some guys, but nothing serious. No. Just sort of fooling around. But now that I'm a woman, it's anyone is attracted to me, and it feels wrong. It's difficult for me to express my sexuality because I am transgender, and because of being transgender, a huge percentage of America, and dare I say the world, just automatically thinks that I'm a pervert. One of the reasons why it took so long for me to transition, like I wore skirts and dresses on and off throughout my life, and every woman I ever dated, the relationship felt gay, and I didn't understand why, because they were girls and I was a guy at the time. And I've always been, very sensitive and playing with dolls and stuff like that. But when my dad found out, when my parents really found out that I was dressing as a woman, they asked me why. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? You need to answer me. Why are you doing this? And it's like, I don't know. It makes me feel good. They immediately assumed that I was a pervert. And they got all the clothes, they threw it away, and they were ashamed of me, and they needed to man me up. They started forcing me to go to the gym. When I was in junior high, they would force me to go to every high school football game so I'd be prepared for school. They wanted me to try out for sports. They wanted me to... That's not who I am. That's not who I am. So, So sex is a bit difficult of a topic for me. I never had the talk from my parents. The closest thing that I had was my brother and I were watching cartoons, and then I must have been like 10, 11. My dad walked in, threw a Penthouse magazine in front of the both of us while we were in front of the TV watching cartoons and said, "You two, read that." And then he walked away. That was my entire sex talk. And it's like, oh, I grew up to be like a womanizing douchebag. Surprise, surprise, surprise. So, then my dad was always very passionate, very, I could say horny, but it feels uncomfortable saying that about your own father. Very passionate. It was like Morticia and Gomez Adams, but filthier. Did you just see me easily snap off my fake earring? Okay, here you go. I sometimes wear one or two of these fake earrings, clip-ons, I guess. The last big drag show that I did, one of the performers, who was my best friend until he decided that he didn't want to talk to me anymore, douchebag, he said, hey, for whatever reason, because, you know, when you're in drag, when you're performing, when you're backstage, you know, the vibes are immaculate, but, you know, weird things happen. And this one guy who I was really close friends with, until like December, January, he, for some reason, had in his possession 20 different instant Tiger King costumes. Came with a Tiger King hat, a fake mustache, fake beard, fake earrings, and a really nice wig. And so every once in a while I'll wear the wig just for fun, just so I can look different. And every once in a while I'll wear the earrings, and people are like, "Oh, I like your earrings." And it's like, thanks. I'm not going to tell you they're fake, but they are. But the story's kind of cool. So one of the reasons why, okay, I'm going to attempt to paint my right hand. One of the reasons why in therapy today we were talking about sex was because I have a new career, and I'm very open and honest about it, and I refuse to be ashamed about it. I am an adult model and a content creator. I'm on a website where I'm getting paid. Not sure what the rules are for YouTube or wherever else this footage is going to be. Do you see my hand shaking? This is difficult. It's like I'm trying to defuse a bomb. Except it's just sparkly nail polish. I'm not sure what the rules are about talking about. Let's just say I'm on a website that rhymes with schlamsy. It's Fansly. It's Fansly. I'm on Fansly. I'm an adult model and adult content creator. And I refuse to be ashamed about this, because I went from being a 240-pound, overweight, unhealthy, self-loathing, suicidal, introverted douchebag to the 162-pound manic pixie dream girl you see before you. I always thought that BMI, body mass index, was total BS. I always thought that it was a lie and that it was total BS, and I didn't like it. I didn't believe in it, and I hated it. Until I slimmed down enough to have a normal body BMI. I'm healthy enough to have a normal BMI. Of course, I'm not at my ideal weight. My ideal weight is, of course, my birth weight, 6 pounds, 8 ounces. Dear 6 pounds, 8 ounce, little baby Jesus, don't even know a word yet. So tiny and yet so omnipotent. And due to a binding endorsement contract that states that I mention Powerade at each grace, I just want to say the Powerade's delicious. Have you seen that movie? I didn't want to see it because it was about like NASCAR and like there are a lot of things where I just go, you know what, I'm not white enough for this. When I was in high school, all of my theater friends were like, oh man, we're all gonna like Jimmy Buffett now. Yeah, it's gonna be funny. We're gonna become like hardcore parrot heads, and we're gonna buy Hawaiian shirts. We're gonna go out and buy Hawaiian shirts. And then like Jimmy Buffett came to concert. Oh man, hey, Steve, are you going to the Jimmy Buffett concert? No. Why not? It's gonna be funny. I'm not white enough for this nonsense of yours. Have fun at the Jimmy Buffett concert. There was a stand-up, a sketch comedy troupe called The Whitest Kids You Know that I never watched because, again, I'm not white enough for the whitest kids you know. But, ever since watching like one of the founders of The Whitest Kids You Know's 2 incredible horror movies, Barbarian and the last one that came out where the kids are killing that old woman. Ever since then, I've been going back and watching some of The Whitest Kids You Know, and it's super funny. So I am an adult model now. So let me explain it to you. OnlyFans, they're like the WWE. They're super popular. Everybody knows them. But also, they're kind of strict. They're very strict about content. Like, they're going away from this is a pornographic site and more of, ooh, look at me, I'm a tease sort of a thing. So just like the WWE, it's super popular and also very safe, middle of the road. Fansly's the number 2. Fansly is like AEW. Not TNA, AEW. Because there are no limitations there. It's anything goes. Legally. But I'm keeping it tasteful. There are 1 or 2, like, fully topless pictures. I haven't posted anything fully bottomless, but yeah, I'm trying to keep it classy. It's not porn, it's smut. I'm trying to not be like a porn actress. I'm trying to be more of a model, more of a Betty Page sort of a thing. Most of it is teasing and tasteful. And I refuse to be ashamed. I still go to church. I sit in the front row. I get on my knees and I pray to the Lord and give the Lord all the thanks and praise. I praise God, unto whom all hearts are open, all desires known, and from whom no secrets are hid. I give the Lord all my thanks and praise. And that's not bullshit. I used to be a real piece of shit, but I'm not anymore. People can change. I think I'm ready to hold the baby. I used to be a real piece of shit, though. Sloppy steaks at Trufani's. If you have Netflix, do yourself a favor. Go and watch I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson. It is the peak of comedy. And for a while there, 67% of my entire vocabulary was just I Think You Should Leave references. You should watch it. So suddenly I find myself being a proud adult model, showing off my goods. I'm not showing anything off, am I? Okay, good. And I'm proud of that. I refuse to be ashamed of that. I am proud. But I don't know, sex is a difficult topic for me. I have been averaging one sexual experience, one sexing, one love-making session a year. And I just don't have much experience as a woman having sex, and I'm a bit nervous. So my therapist and I worked on that. Her name is Rebecca. She is super nice. I've been seeing her since 2022. I absolutely love her. She has a white noise machine outside of her office, and every time I turn the white noise machine on for her, and every time I turn the white noise machine off, I try and think of a white thing for it to do. Like today I turned it on, and then I turned on the white noise machine, and because it's a white noise machine, it just would not stop talking about the pit. It's like, oh my God, did you see that episode? Did you see that episode where Noah Wiley was all, I'm Noah Wiley. I used to be a doctor, and then I was a librarian, and now I'm a doctor again. Except this time I can, cuss and shit. White noise. What other white noise? Trump is, he was sent by God. The good thing about being Episcopal, I'm an Episcopalian. The good thing about being Episcopal is that it is shared practice, not shared belief. And what that means is we all come together and do the same practices, but we don't believe the same thing. There are some people at church who are Trump supporters. There are some people who are super liberal. There are some people, I have heard of people who consider themselves Episcopal and don't even believe in God, but they go for community and people and family. And so everyone believes different things. And so I like to think of it as kind of like the choose your own adventure of religion. And the way I like to say it is, saying God damn it or Jesus Christ isn't taking the Lord's name in vain. But what is taking the Lord's name in vain? Hi, honey. Hi. What is taking the Lord's name in vain is a perverted, rapist, racist president posting images of himself as Jesus. That's taking the Lord's name in vain. A mega pastor saying, you need to send me money so I can buy a third private jet. That's taking the Lord's name in vain. Billionaires being religious. That is taking the Lord's name in vain. Being wealthy is a moral failing. And you can't be wealthy and enter the kingdom of heaven. Jesus was pretty fucking specific about that. Love you, honey. So, yeah, therapy. I'm working on I'm very touch starved. I don't get a lot of touching, a lot of kissing. I don't really make out. The last person I made out with, their name was Vivian, and we went out. We had a fun time, and then I went to go give her a goodbye kiss, and I guess, she is neurodivergent, and so when I went to give her a kiss, I guess she panicked and opened her mouth and just started jousting me with her tongue. Just like, I just went, and she came in just, oh, ha, ha. start, turn, parry, dodge, spin, haha, thrust. That's Looney Tunes. Daffy Duck. If you know, you know. It is hot in this house. Our air conditioning is off, and a guy's coming today. Who knows when? How long have I been doing this video? Is it too long? I don't know. But I do have a performance booked this year. One. But I can't talk about it yet. But I am very excited. I do have... There was at least one organization out there that said, we are having a Pride event, and we cannot have it without mail-in. And so not a lot of people... I'm not getting booked. A lot of people don't like me. But there's at least one organization that has the guts to book me. And I can tell you it's not Norman Pride.
She's fine.
They haven't talked to me since, like, November.
No, she just wanted
But I have a booking, so that's good. And I'm working on my physical issues. I'm super touch-starved, and I'm always looking for like a cuddle buddy, someone who doesn't want sex, who just, like, who wants to invite me over so we can cuddle on a couch or a bed, get high, and watch a stupid movie. That's, you know, and maybe make out, but not like in a sexual way. I'm not looking to have sex. I'm looking to be intimate with someone. But also, I am also scared. Because I haven't had a lot of intimacy, and I don't even know how to start. You know? But I am now working in the adult industry. Technically. Are you dry? Yeah, you're pretty dry. Okay. Sheen, sparkle, sparkle. So if I'm going to be in the adult industry, I need to start working on my intimacy issues, and I'm working on that. So there you go. Positivity. It's difficult to have positivity when every day there is a new hell. Every day there's some sort of new hell that shows that America is doomed, and that our president is the Antichrist, and that there's no saving this nation, and that our nation is... We're on our way to nuclear war. And I'm just trying to be true to myself. One person asked me, like, when did you decide to become trans? And it's like, hey, if you're ever talking to a trans person, don't use that word. Because I didn't decide to be trans. I realized I've been trans this whole time. Okay? When did I realize I was trans? When did I decide to become trans? It just seemed like a popular fad. And I said, you know what? Let me spend, 6 years ruining my life and losing friends and family because of this fun fad. So don't say, when did you decide to become trans? I didn't decide to become trans. I decided to stop pretending to be a guy. Is what I did. So, America is doomed. We're a hideous, evil nation. Cat! Why do you do this? Why do you do this? Do you hear that? The cat is saying hello. Hello? Do you hear that? Our cat has learned to say hello and will say it over and over again in the hopes that we will be annoyed enough to let it into a room. I think this is a good place to stop. This is probably like a ridiculously long episode, but hey, I'm used to that. And I hope you enjoyed yourself. But even if you didn't, that's fine. That's fine. Because this is more for me. I just hope you got something out of it. One of my kids is getting bullied at school by this douchebag kid named Creedon. He's in 4th grade. Who names their kid Creedon? I assumed my 9-year-old just couldn't pronounce the full name Credence. Like, okay, Credence, Clearwater Revival. What's Creedon? It's like Eden, but instead of Adam and Eve, it's Eve and Apollo Creed. Creedon. But he's been picking on my daughter. You have 2 moms. One of them's gay and one of them's trans. They're weirdos. And it's like, Lynn, you cannot beat the shit out of a 9-year-old white boy. As much as you want to, and as much as you feel entitled to, I cannot do that. But this douchebag, so I talked to my 9-year-old and I'm like, this is how you handle it, okay? This is important. We are weird and we are different. But then that just means that we're unique and we're special and we stand out. Creedon is a basic white boy, and if he was in a room with 25 other white kids from Oklahoma, I couldn't find the bitch because he's a basic white boy. A lot of people in Oklahoma, especially guys, they want to look like every other guy. And I don't want to look like every other guy. I don't want to look like every other girl. I want to look like someone special and unique. I want to look like me. And the world would be a better place if we all could be 100% comfortable to be ourselves. And on that note, that is the end of... Ooh, this one's not dry all the way. Kind of fucked that one up. So that is the end of episode 4. I don't know what I'm going to call it. And you know what? I'm going to put... I will be performing, but not in Norman. I won't be performing at Norman's Pride. So there's that. It's going to be in Ada. That's all I can say. It's going to be in Ada in June. So come see me in Ada, Oklahoma in June. That's the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Be sure and punch that subscribe button. Be sure and spank that subscribe button. Be sure and sexually assault that... No, that sounds bad. Be sure and make out with that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. Okay, bye.